to save humanity. You won't believe the things that He's done for me. He gave me confidence, now I have self-esteem. I am the best with Jesus on my team. No one else can save me from my sin. He's more than super cool, Jesus is my best friend. All I know is He died on the cross for me, and even more He did it willingly. Jesus is super cool. Jesus is super cool. Jesus is super cool. So cool, so cool, so cool. Eternal life is in the blood that He shed for me. He gave His life on Calvary. Now I know that it was all part of God's plan. After 3 days, Jesus would rise again. He ascended back to heaven's glory. He's coming back to save you and me. The Bible tells me He loves me, and that's a fact. He's coming back now. How cool is that? Jesus is super cool. So cool. Jesus is super cool. Jesus is super cool. So cool, so cool, so cool. Jesus is super cool. So cool, so cool. Jesus is super cool. Jesus is super cool. So cool, so cool, so cool. When I'm feeling down and I'm afraid, a little Jesus brightens up my day, giving me the courage that I need. Now I know it will succeed. He will do the same thing for you. Open up your heart and He'll come through and forgive you all your sins. All you have to do is let Him in. That's why Jesus is super cool. So cool, so cool. Jesus is super cool. Jesus is super cool. So cool, so cool, so cool. When did Christians become so cool? It's so fresh they ought to teach it in school. Jesus was the most influential. The Son of Man is not coincidental. 2,000 years put His words into the test. Now I know Jesus is the best of the best. Best of the best. Best of the best. Jesus is super cool. So cool. Jesus is super cool. Jesus is super cool. So cool, so cool, so cool. Jesus is super cool. So cool, so cool. Jesus is super cool. Jesus